All right, we are back. Let's talk about night number 2 for WrestleMania. Actually, I'm actually more organized now than I was. So,
hooray!
Let's talk about our opening match: RK Bro, Street Profits, and Alpha Academy.
It was a decent opener.
It was a decent opener.
It was certainly better than night number 1.
Oh, absolutely.
But again, you can't do like X, Y, and Z, right?
Right.
It's like night number 1 would have been great, but injuries, blah blah blah. It's just
right.
But anyways, it was still a great opener. Like
I
tag
really enjoyed
team
it.
Championship matches, you can never go wrong with that.
But here's the thing: the tag team championship matches. I mean, other than this one was just weird. I think one of them was just a given of circumstance. It was overall entertaining. I thought they promoted the match itself very well to novices like you who don't watch it every week. I just wish we had maybe a little bit more, just to be honest. But it was a RKO.
A little bit more what? Tag team wrestling?
Maybe not that, but maybe more tension with the Street Profits being heel. We'll talk about that later. But I think overall, I did enjoy this. I did. But it was a RKO from a top rope, Chad Gable to win. We had a celebration where Gable Steveson was in there. And Chad Gable, who was another, Olympian amateur wrestler, kind of took the little bump there with a belly-to-belly suplex. I would say a good thing, but at the end of the day, he needs a little work. Please don't put him on Raw immediately. He needs some training.
Oh, he's going to be on Raw immediately.
I know, that's a problem, because there's potential with him. He needs some seasoning.
Yeah.
He overexposed himself early, where people were like, oh my God, this is really cool because you have, 2 amateur wrestlers sort of going at it. It just needs some more work. That's all. Anyway, overall, RK Bro won. Whatever. Start our next match. Yeah.
It was a Haas match.
I like this match.
It's about what I expected. It actually turned out a little bit better than I thought it was going to turn out, but it still turned out pretty good.
I had a lot of fun watching this match.
It was a Haas match, powerhouse, 8-minute match.
At this match, we had we got Domino's, we got pizza, and we wolfed that down. So watching that and just chowing down on some pizza, it was just overall a good time.
Yeah, trans fats.
Yeah. I look like Bobby Lashley under all of this.
You don't look like Bobby Lashley.
I'm an enormous, Greek god-esque sculpted black man at the end of the day. But I will say, at the end of the day, it was a lot of fun watching this. I thought that even Omos looked like a star in this match, and I think Lashley does take a lot of credit for that. He really sold well for Omos at the end of the day.
Omos needs some work, but
it was a spear for Lashley. Omos sold it. Omos is great at selling. He really knows how to sell.
He needs some work, but
there's something there.
It could have been worse.
There's something there with Omos. I like Omos. I overall like Omos. Let's talk about this match.
All right,
this
is the match where certain people.
I had so
Jim
much.
Jim Cornette's gonna die with this match.
I loved this match.
This is Jim Cornette's funeral.
So we had Party Man, we had Wee Man, we had a lot of the Jackass guys, a lot of stunts. People loved this match. I love this match.
Well, except for Jim Cornette, he didn't love this match.
This was so much fun. Also, once again, Johnny Knoxville paying homage to Andy Kaufman.
Yep.
I really like that. Sami Zayn was great in this. And I think that them re-signing Sami Zayn was a blessing. Because Sami Zayn's so good. And he really made this. But it was I'm not kidding you. I can say this 1,000 times. I'm never going to get over this. It was a giant mousetrap pin for Johnny Knoxville to win the match. Sami Zayn is awesome. I mean, this was so much fun. I loved every moment of this. I thought the spots were good. The crowd reactions were excellent. The cameo appearances were not over the top to where it was annoying, but it was just enough to where people got the reaction.
It's where it needs to be on the card.
Oh, absolutely. Overall, a great experience.
Just waiting for him to die here.
Right, no kidding. Oh, God.
Oh, fuck my life. It was never about the women's tag teams.
It was about It was about the home wreckers.
It was about Carmella and what's his name? Sam Adonis's brother.
Right. Because that's pretty much what he is. Corey Graves.
There we go. It was never about the women's tag team division. That's the problem I had with this match.
Nobody cared.
This match was spotty. It was a spot fest.
But it
was too much of a spot fest. I couldn't follow it at all.
It was
I didn't know who was legal. It was very ill-prepared.
Corey Graves on commentary, which was super frustrating.
Yep.
I know that a lot of people didn't like me because I was really going off on Carmella and Corey Graves. They cheated. They're home wreckers.
Yeah.
Don't even bother. I mean, now luckily
they have a fucking YouTube series not doing well because nobody cares about them.
Sucked. I watched 2 episodes because I hate myself. I'm a masochist, but at the same time, I'm like,
surprised your wrists are still closed.
I know, no kidding. It was disgusting. It was all just sex jokes.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, what about this? Fuck off.
Yeah,
You're
seriously.
home wreckers. You ruined the family, you pieces of shit.
Yeah, pretty much. And guess what? It overshadowed everything else
the whole
that was
match.
happening here.
So, a thing that could have been great, a thing that could have been really good,
is if they had a one-on-one tag team match without the other 2 teams involved.
it should have been Naomi and Sasha Banks taking on the home wrecker and the sellout. That's all you need.
That's all you needed. You didn't need to have fucking Liv Morgan and what's her name and Shayna Baszler
and Natalia.
And
it was not necessary.
It was not necessary at all.
They were a non-factor in this match.
It was so annoying and stupid. I hated this match.
I did too. This was the worst match of all of WrestleMania.
I'm gonna talk about that.
I'm gonna disagree with you, but Naomi and Sasha Banks won the titles. It was Banks Heyman, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, no, it wasn't. It wasn't Banks Heyman. It was the.
It was a stupid tag team finish or whatever that's called.
It was a code breaker face buster, which I kind of liked because guess what?
That was the only part that I didn't even remember because I didn't even know what the name.
Well,
of
one of the home wreckers, the home wrecker lost, so I was happy about that.
Right. Oh my god, that dumbass mask she was wearing, Jesus.
Oh yeah, no, you're not fully exposed to the mask.
I'm glad.
Yeah, you're very lucky. At the end of the day, you're very lucky. Let's talk about Edge AJ. Okay.
Oh my god. So the rivalry was okay. This match was it was weak. It wasn't awful.
Also, AJ Styles, he got his nick on his cheek, not from the pyro. When he was walking out, so the entranceway is it was like a big 2-layer thing.
Yeah.
AJ walked out. His hood was over his head. His cheek clipped the other side of the entrance star.
Yep.
And it pushed him back, and that's where he got cut.
Yeah.
It was not the pyro.
Anyways, this
Edge's entrance was great, by the way.
It was, but this match was weak.
It was boring.
It was boring. It was a very boring match.
And I hate saying this, but it was because of the pacing. And we'll talk about that when we make the shit Majestic again, because all it takes was one thing, and that was it. Now, I did like the ending. I liked Damian Priest being there, but not getting involved.
Well, we'll talk about it when we make it Majestic again.
Yes.
But we are going to talk about the future plans for Edge.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm okay with all of it.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's talk about the next one. This abomination from God.
Do you really think
why did we turn the Bruiserweight into a little fucking punk?
Right, he looked like a little bitch.
He's a little bitch.
Also, the New Day, Kofi Kingston, he won the WWE champion at this event at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And now he's wearing another man's ring gear.
Yeah.
And losing in like how long was this match? Let me see if
it was like
had this.
2.5 minutes.
It wasn't even 2 minutes. It was 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Cool.
Wow, cool. Great job, WWE. Let's just have 2 of your brightest fucking stars lose to fucking Sheamus and injury.
Sheamus and Nia Jax.
God, no fucking. I'm surprised nobody was fucking her. I'm almost expecting fucking Wrestling Inc. to tell me that Xavier Woods died of stupidity from this stupid bullshit.
I died of stupidity after this match.
But
Are you kidding?
It was some Northern Grit bullshit. I was so distracted by Pete Dunne and him being a scroggly little
Pete
shit. Butch.
Who's Pete Dunne?
No, it's Butch. This is cool, guys. It's Butch.
You little butt.
Fuck this guy. Like, legitimately. Let's take Pete Dunne, one of the best wrestlers in the world, and call him Butch, and have him being Sheamus' little cum fucking dumpster.
He's a cum dumpster.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah. He's a little bitch, isn't he?
He's a little Eiffel Tower where he takes Sheamus up the pooper and fucking Ridge Holland in the mouth, and they fill him up with their fucking Irish grit. Fuck these two. Fuck all of them.
My God.
That was a little dark with that, but I don't care. Anyway, it was Northern Grit, which is what Pete Dunne takes in his fucking.
Can we
little...
talk? Speaking of people that take cum into their mouths, let's talk about the next match.
I was talking about his asshole, but whatever. This was there was a lot that I liked.
There's a lot that was going on with this match, which made it all the more entertaining.
Pat McAfee and Austin Theory. So I will say one thing. They really promoted this really well.
Uh-huh.
It made Pat McAfee really look like a star overall. But also, I'll have to give Austin Theory a lot of credit. He played to the crowd well.
Oh, he did. Mr. McMahon made an appearance. He actually wrestled a fucking match.
He did.
Let's talk about the fact that
it was
Mr. McMahon wrestled a match.
Now, before we get into that, Austin Theory lost, but he did not look weak in loss. He didn't.
No.
It was a roll-up from Pat McAfee to lose the match or to win the match, but then Mr. McMahon took off all of his shit and had a match, number one. So, Peanut Gallery and I were obviously brothers, and our grandfather died at 77, where here's Vince McMahon, pretty much almost the same age, give or take a couple of months, and he looked so great.
He wrestled a fucking match.
And obviously, no disrespect to our grandpa. He had a lot of other things going after him at that point.
But Jesus, the guy for his age, he didn't look great. He didn't look like he looked back in 97 and 2002 and 2004.
That was 30 years ago.
But god damn it.
For somebody who's almost 80, he's 76. He looks better than some people that I see in their 40s.
Yeah.
In their 40s.
You look better than half the people in the fucking crowd.
Right. The clotheslines were a little snug.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think I have to give a little bit of credit to Pat McAfee for that. And also the football into the ribs where Mr. McMahon won. Not the biggest fan of that, but also Stone Cold came out an enormous pop.
All right, let's talk about that stunner. The stunner on Vince McMahon was weak.
I think the problem is that Stone Cold kind of kicked Mr. McMahon a little hard. That was a snug kick.
It was.
And I think it took McMahon's breath away, which is what happened.
Yeah. And Steve Austin knew, and so Steve Austin did a very weak stunner, which was fine.
Right.
It didn't look great on camera. I'll admit it didn't look great on camera.
Right.
Now let's talk about Austin Theory's reaction to the stunner. Oh my god.
That was
the
great.
Guy just flipped over like a fish.
Right. He did this little kick. He almost launched into the catwalk. He did a great stunner cell overall. He looked
Yep.
I like Pat McAfee. I really like. Also, let's talk about Pat McAfee, where he was laying down because he went into the ring with Stone Cold to do the Stone Cold cheers. He took a stunner, and while Stone Cold was doing that, Pat McAfee, laying on his back, grabbed one of the Stone Cold beers, and he was drinking it.
He was drinking it.
It's that looks like me on fucking Fridays sometimes.
Right.
But it was really good. I just loved everything about this. From the match itself was good. I really did like it. From Mr. McMahon's little whatever, that was fine, to Stone Cold coming out and doing that. It was just great. People responded well. Mr. McMahon, give or take the stunner, but I'm going to be very nice about it because, when you're in your late 70s...
You shouldn't be in the ring. I mean, your son-in-law retired the same day, so...
Right. You're in your late 70s, you're not going to take a Stone Cold stunner like fucking... Austin Theory.
Right, like the father of your grandchildren retired the exact same day you were taking stunners, so...
Right, exactly. It's the weirdest shit. All right, let's talk about it. The main event, double title, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. What a weird match.
It went about how I expected it to. I'm not a fan of the finish. It felt a little rushed.
It felt very rushed. It was 12 minutes and 15 seconds.
I was expecting, at least another 10 minutes.
Edge and AJ Styles was double the time.
Seriously?
Edge and AJ Styles was 24 minutes and 5 seconds. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar was 12 minutes and 16 seconds.
Well, no wonder. I mean, the time should have been switched.
I will say one thing. Number one, no, absolutely not. I think that we'll talk about this shit when we make Pro Wrestling Majestic again, because I think one flaw was AJ Styles and Edge's downfall.
I mean, I think that we should start talking about it right now.
All right, let's talk about it. So, number one, Roman Reigns won with a spear kind of out of nowhere.
It was.
I didn't like that.
Kind of weird.
People were like, oh, okay. And also, they said the Undisputed Universal Champion, are they really going to do this? Let's talk about making Pro Wrestling.
They're going to retire the Universal Champion.
I hope they do.
They are.
The WWE Champion should be the champion.
The WWE Champion has a history. They're going to retire the Universal Champion.
They have to be done with this whole rivalry. But I will say one thing. Giving them credit, they made this feel like a big deal. Overall.
It was okay.
Also,
I mean, we've seen it before, so I kind of expected a lot of the same things to happen. I'm not going to say it was I was very disappointed in the ending to this match.
It was like a random spear.
It was very random. I did not like the ending to
this
match.
It was a little cattywampus, but overall, they didn't make this feel like a big deal, so I was satisfied overall, just with the ending.
All right, let's move on.
Oh, God, there's a lot to unpack here. Number one, Mr. McMahon should have gotten into the ring and had a match.
He did.
Have McMahon do like a underhanded tactic, and then Stone Cold come out and then stunner him instead of having the match. That was really unnecessary. I will say one thing. Them taking Pat McAfee back to when he was training in 2007 and him being as a kid really put me back into the passion of Pat McAfee within the moment. Also, Pat McAfee can draw in crowd reaction better than anybody else. The problem with Austin Theory is that he's so young.
He's so green.
He's green.
All right.
He's good. I like Austin Theory. But this is a big moment. And I think he did okay. He could have done better with some seasoning. Mm-hmm. And I think there's just a problem of orientation of the card.
Yeah.
If this was maybe second or third match, we would have a totally different conversation. Well,
they did because of Stone Cold's team.
Right.
Austin.
Not pre-main event, or what is the other name for it? Penultimate. This shouldn't have been the penultimate main event.
Anyways, let's move on.
Well, we're making the shit just again.
I know,
that's literally all that needed to happen.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. It shouldn't have happened at WrestleMania. Why did it happen at WrestleMania? Pete Dunne looked like a little bitch.
Yeah, it was pretty lame actually.
The New Day looked like scrubs.
Yeah, pretty much.
They look like scrubs.
Yeah.
Why did they lose to Sheamus, Rich injured, and little bitch? Why at WrestleMania? Why this late?
Because, it was taken off of the card night one because there was no time. It was given the minute and 30 seconds on night two. So Just goes to show how much they really cared about this
This
match.
wasn't at night 1. That's a problem.
No, it was originally going to be night 1.
not before the fucking shit was finalized.
No, it was. It was originally be night 1.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Well, you better look it up, Adam.
You better fucking look it up. It wasn't. It was always scheduled for night 2.
It was scheduled originally for night 1.
Maybe before they actually confirmed the card.
Well, might want to look it up.
All right, let's talk about this. So, the only problem with this is that these two know how to.
This was the only match where I really forgot most of it.
So disappointed.
I legitimately could not remember a single piece of this match that was memorable.
The problem with this match.
Actually, no. Scratch that. The only part of this match I find memorable was Damian Priest.
Great. I love that.
So here's what's going to happen. And I told Tiger Height this. Damian Priest and Edge. Well, Edge is going to be forming this new faction.
Cool.
Damian Priest is going to be a part of this, and they're going to bring on other members. Now, I thought maybe this would be a great impetus for someone like the Street Profits to turn heel, but we don't know that yet. But Edge is going to start a new faction after WrestleMania, and that's going to happen for damn sure.
Okay, so number one, I'm going to do two things about this. I'm going to start with the faction. I think the Street Profits would be good, but I think Los Lotharios would be great in this position.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
Los Lotharios would be a great thing. They're kind of dead in the water right now. And I think them getting the rub from Edge would be great overall. And also, you'll have that Edge SmackDown presence. Mm-hmm. And also, it would not interfere with Damian Priest and Edge on Raw. So, that's just me. But, number two, the problem with this match, and I think I really illustrated this, was pacing.
Oh, God,
and here's the thing with wrestling matches.
This was the worst paced match
of
the
absolutely.
Entire card.
I agree with you 100%. These two know how to pace, and they just didn't click on that. They went from really slow to really fast to really slow again. In wrestling, and this is a medium that this can never be done, is the overall objective of pacing. You know why? Because it's controlled. Mm-hmm. Where a UFC fight, it's not a factor because you cannot control the pacing of fighters.
Right.
But in the context of a wrestling match, you know how to do it. And these two, as experienced as they are, should have had a 5-star 100% classic here.
It wasn't, though.
They didn't. And that was their fault.
Yeah.
But at least at the very end, you had something interesting.
Yeah.
With Priest losing the United States title, he's not going for it again. He's going with Edge. I'm cool with all of that.
Okay.
Because they're very interesting overall. But overall, fine.
Let's not talk about this. This match shouldn't have happened.
Corey Graves and Carmella should be dragged in the street and shot, or go against the whole Biden jerk-off session, be lynched.
Or injured, not severely, but injured enough to where it's painful. We don't say no. We want to keep our YouTube monetization. No, we don't say the K word. Bad.
I didn't say that.
You said dragged down the streets and unalived.
I didn't say unalived. I said lynched. Okay, fine. All right, I'll be PC. I'll be PC here. Okay, I'll be PC. They should be Bidened and still not unalived. There, that makes sense.
Good. We want to keep YouTube, our Lord and Savior, Google. We want to keep our monetization. Thank you.
Right. Let's go, Brandon. Anyway, so number one, it should have been between the original two. Shayna Baszler and Natalya, Rhea Ripley, and Liv Morgan are a nothing fucking sandwich in context.
Yeah, they should not have been involved.
Zero context.
Yeah.
God. I don't know what the hell that is.
You want me to start hosting this show?
I don't know what the fuck is happening.
I'm gonna start hosting this damn show.
You know what? The problem is I had like the doors open like the whole day, and I got a frog in my throat from that.
Well, you should cough it out.
But overall, the problem is that this match shouldn't have happened in the context that it did because only two things cared. Now I like that Carmella ate the pin, so I was happy about that.
But honestly, what happened was the Carmella Corey Graves thing superseded the actual match itself.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
That's the problem.
It was 100% a problem because they were like shooting the Corey Graves every fucking move, and it was like, ugh. I mean, Carmella, you should know the fucking future of this. Take your fucking thing, and I know Peanut Gallery doesn't like this guy. Take your shit from fucking Tom Likas. Once a cheater, always a cheater.
Yeah.
Once a bum, always a bum. Got it? Get it? Good. You should have stayed with fucking W. Morrissey.
Mick. If you could figure out how this works.
What the hell happened? I don't know what happened. Oh, there we go. Okay. I loved everything. Oh, I'm struggling. I loved everything about this.
Well, except Jim Cornette. Jim
Cornette can take his 80s mouth and suck the fattest part of my cock. This is WrestleMania.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Well, here's the problem, though. He's probably simping over his wife fucking another one of his students. Bitch. Anyway, so the problem with Jim Cornette is this was entertaining. Yeah. Here's the thing. Johnny Knoxville, he has a charisma. He had at least some sort of talent. And here's the thing. He took the moves. He was actually very good in his spot with this. And also, he paid respect to the business.
Kind of like how Dave doesn't know facts, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have Dave. It's not AEW, so I don't give a shit. Fax Meltzer here.
Dave Meltzer is an ass, isn't he?
He really is. You know why? Because he's paid for people. It's obvious.
Tony Khan's got him in his back pocket.
I love Tony Khan, but goddamn, I don't care if he gives me $100 fucking million. I ain't selling out to the Ty Lopez love child with fucking Grant Cardone, okay? I'm not going to do that.
Anyways, let's talk about, instead of talking about the smarks over at Pro Wrestling Observer newsletter, let's talk about this match.
This match was fun.
It was fun.
And here's the thing.
Every WrestleMania has to have a fun match.
But here's the thing. This match was fun. It was very physical. Mm-hmm. It didn't insult my intelligence. And that's the thing what I really loved about
it kind of did. But
it didn't.
No, it did. There was a gigantic mousetrap. Okay, it insulted everyone's intelligence, but I expected it.
Everybody thought it was. And here's the difference. It didn't insult your intelligence because you knew it was going to happen. Oh, yeah. You're like, what's going to happen with the Jackass crew?
Right.
You had Pee-wee coming out and doing moves against Sami Zayn, and people lost their minds. That's not an insult of intelligence. That made sense. You know why? Because number one, Sami Zayn...
It's a fucking comedy match.
Here's the thing. Sami Zayn's awesome. But also, Johnny Knoxville respected the business.
Yeah. Don't take it so seriously there, Dave. Don't take it so seriously there, Jim.
And here's the thing.
It's a fucking comedy match.
Wrestling is... there are parts of a wrestling card that are supposed to be fun.
And they had in the perfect place for it.
Right. Here's the thing. Santino Marella. Yeah, Santino Marella made a joke of the business. 100%. But this was a different situation. Number one, it was Sami Zayn's actual phone number. And here's the thing. They are all involved. It made it viral. It made it interesting. And people loved it. What's wrong with that? It got people wanting to watch some wrestling.
Right.
This is going to be talked about on TMZ forever, just like with David Arquette when he took on Nick Gage. Anyway.
Haas match.
This was fun. I loved this.
It was a Haas match.
I thought Omos looked really good. Lashley put him over really strong.
Omos is still too... He's too one-dimensional.
I'll say one thing. I agree with you on that. He is too green. I agree with you, 100%.
He's also one-dimensional. There's no personality. There's not a lot of personality for Omos outside of he's a big, strong black boy.
Right. And here's the problem.
Cool.
Here's a problem. With
Bobby Lashley is an Army veteran.
Right. Here's a problem. Here's a problem with Omos, and I think this is literally what they only have to do to make this shit Majestic. Omos needed some time in NXT to get that. Here's the thing.
He needs to hone his craft, and he also needs to develop a character.
What
is he?
Omos has the potential. He actually can talk well for. Oh no, I think he can. He has a presence. He has a voice.
He doesn't talk well.
Well, here's the problem though. They put him on the main roster too soon.
Yeah, kind of like Gable Steveson.
Right. Put him in NXT. Give him some time to hone that craft.
Well, this is an excuse for him to go to NXT for a while.
Right. There's no excuses. Lashley, put him over the best he can. I like the match personally. I wouldn't have done anything different. But also, they made Omos look like a killer up until this match.
Right.
He was destroying everybody because, you know what? There was something to him.
He was destroying Dabicado. He wasn't really destroying everybody, but let's put it that way. All right, first match. I don't even remember this match happening.
So the only thing that I remember was Gable Steveson. I mean, he's really close. I mean, didn't he retire from amateur wrestling?
Yes.
He's right there.
Yeah, he's ready to go to the big leagues.
No, he's not.
Well, he's not, but he wants to go. Well, he should go to NXT, but
he should go to NXT. I don't know why he's not.
NXT 2.0.
The problem is that he's still that Olympic gold medalist, and they think that they have another Kurt Angle. I like the guy, but the problem with Kurt Angle is that, number one, he trained outside of WWE. But number two is that they threw him in the Alliance Den, and Kurt Angle just had that natural charisma.
Right.
Gable Steveson, we don't know yet.
Right.
And putting him on WrestleMania, that's a whole other level.
Right, it is.
Kurt Angle wasn't at his first year's WrestleMania.
Right.
They gave him a minute to kind of hone his craft. Gable Steveson, they're putting him in a big disadvantage of a guy who actually has some sort of natural charisma. I like the guy. He has the look to do this. He has the obvious athletic talent to do this. But does he have that personality? We don't know yet. Chad Gable does. I love Chad Gable. I love the Alpha Academy.
Anyways, let's summarize WrestleMania in a couple of short sentences.
Everything about WrestleMania was so much fun. They nailed this WrestleMania. I'm going to give this WrestleMania 2 thumbs up. I thought it was that good.
The build-up to WrestleMania left much to be desired. But as usual, every single, well, not every year, but most years, they knocked it out of the park. They kind of took a break from it, and I think the pandemic had a lot to do with the way that this one was kind of built as well. But I think, are going to start to hit their stride again and kind of continue onward with that whole momentum building. So
there were WrestleMania moments here that even you said to you were like, I really like this. So what is your thumbs up?
I'm gonna give it 1 thumbs up.
You're gonna give it 1 thumbs up.
I'm not gonna give it 2 thumbs up. It wasn't like the perfect WrestleMania. Like I said, the build to it had a lot to be desired, but the outcome was mostly excellent.
Absolutely, I agree with you on that. Do you have a best or worst match of the night, or of WrestleMania in general?
Well, let's talk. Well, the worst match of the night was the women's tag team championship match.
Okay.
Edge versus AJ Styles was the most boring match of the night. I'm gonna give the best match of the night. The best match of the night. God damn. I'm kind of torn. I have 3 matches of I guess not of the night, but of the weekend that I really liked.
Okay.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kevin Owens, no holds barred. It was pretty good.
It was.
I liked the Cody Rhodes Seth Rollins.
That was excellent.
Banger was magnifique. And, of course, the Cinderella story known as Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch.
I like it. All three of your best matches of the nights were from night one.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
Night one was better than night two.
Absolutely. 100%. I agree with you.
Night one was just better.
And I hate saying this. The worst match of the night was Edge AJ Styles. Of the whole weekend, of all of WrestleMania.
Like I said, it was the most boring match. But
no, I'm actually legitimately going to say it was the worst match. I think because of my expectations, and they know better. They know better.
Yeah.
And yet they pulled off this boring slog of a match.
Right. I don't even remember the match. So.
Right. We just watched it, an hour and a half ago?
Yeah, I remember matches from night one better.
Right. I remember night one matches better. And so I'm actually going to give Charlotte Flair Ronda Rousey my best weekend match.
Seriously? Mm-hmm. That match was terrible.
It wasn't. I thought it was the best match. I think it was the best match. I thought it was
God,
good.
I don't know what you're looking at.
It felt like a WrestleMania match.
I don't know what you're smoking, but I want some.
I'm sorry. That's just my opinion.
Oof. Guess what? Everyone can have a wrong opinion.
What was who was your favorite celebrity match?
Ooh.
Mine was Logan Paul.
Mine
was Logan Paul.
Yep.
I think because here's the thing, Johnny Knoxville, there was some fun stuff with it. Don't get me wrong.
Logan Paul.
But the expectations with Logan Paul were a lot higher, and he crushed it.
So
he felt like a star. He was better than The Miz.
So, anyways, Shad Gaspard, I'm not crying. You're crying.
That was rough. I watched the whole speech, and I swear to God,
made a grown man cry.
I wasn't sure if it was pure euphoria and just being. It was rough, especially when his kid and JTG did the crime time thing.
Yeah,
I was like, ugh, he's such a natural. He's gonna go into this business. I can just feel it. But overall, WrestleMania, I loved it. I had so much fun. I love WrestleMania every year. This one felt like WrestleMania despite the build. It felt like WrestleMania.
Anyways, next week, what are we going to be doing next week?
Next week, we're going to be doing heckling and wrestling lesson, just like normal. But we're going to be covering the shows that we did not do this week because of WrestleMania, which was Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, and NXT Stand and Deliver. I heard both of them were good. Let's rock and roll. So if you did enjoy this, remember to like, subscribe, follow, share with all your friends. If you're watching us or listening to us, thank you for doing so. We are on YouTube, Spotify, we are on iTunes, we're on Podbean. Anywhere you listen or watch all of your podcasts, we are there. Look up Pro Wrestling Zone or Make Pro Wrestling Majestic again. You'll find us. Also, become a patron where you can watch it live with us, get some cool merch. We have some red MPWMA hats coming out.
Cool.
Same style, same makers as Make America Great Again. Cool. Literally the same makers.
Oh, that's awesome.
So keep in mind for that, we'll have those released. But if you become a $20 patron, you have a drawing where Peanut Gallery and I will sign one of the hats and send it to you randomly. So, become a $20 patron and get that.
I didn't know I was signing things.
Oh yeah, no, we'll be. It's only one thing per month, and you get that little thing. But you'll always get it. You'll always get a hat. You'll always get a shirt. One of the things, but it could be signed or not. So stay tuned for that and be on there. And also, you'll be a part of the watch party where you can talk with us. You can get drunk with us. We do live chats. We do trivias. We do, all that fun stuff. We'll be your, we'll be your therapist, whatever you want to do. But it's always a great time.
I'm not prepared to be a therapist. Let me get some more wine.
Also, so always good stuff with a patron. Check out Patreon. There's a link tree, not only actually on the screen now, right here. Scan that. You'll find everything from every single place if you're viewing us. But as always, once again, be majestic.